Over the last 6 years, my team and I have placed over 7,000 virtual assistants for 3,500 clients. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Over 99% of entrepreneurs don't delegate properly and end up either not optimizing the relationship or simply failing. I'm gonna do something a little bit different on this video. I'm gonna hang out, walk around a little bit, and have some fun. So let me tell you why this is. And if you've ever hired an employee and it hasn't worked out, and I know I've done that many, many times, then this is probably going to resonate with you. And by the way, if you like advice like this, if you like talking about growing your business, scaling, adding leverage to your business so that you can get your time back, I have a link down below to get my weekly emails. I send like 3, 4, 5 emails, just depending on the week, all with actionable tips that you can use to grow your business, increase profit, and work less. So if you're into that, subscribe down below. All right, so here we go. Why do entrepreneurs simply suck at leverage and delegation? And the number one reason is that, first of all, most entrepreneurs don't have a standard operating procedure. They don't have the right systems when they hire someone into their business. So this may sound familiar to you. You hire someone and you just say, okay, here's what I want you to do. Go get them. And there is no system for that. There's no key performance indicators. There's no daily schedule. There's no accountability. There's no system. And that creates a lot of problems. I've done that. If you've done that, let me know in the comments below. But the answer is that if you don't have a standard operating procedure, first of all, you can hit me up in the comments and I'll get you a standard operating procedure for any position you want. Executive assistant, inside salesperson, social media manager, video editor, you name it, I got it. Just let me know and I'll give it to you. But if you don't have it, you want to create it, you can actually use that first hire to create it for you. So when I hired my first executive assistant a long time ago, what I said to her, her name was Courtney, is I said, hey, you have 2 jobs, Courtney. Number 1, you got to do the job that you were hired for, right? Executive assistant. And number 2 is I want you to create an operations manual for our business. And that actually led to huge growth and success on my real estate team when I used to have a real estate team a long time ago. So that's number 1. You got to have a standard operating procedure. You got to have goals. You got to have key performance indicators. You got to have a system for success for this person that you hire. Number 2 is the big accountability thing, right? So instead of actually having a system and then holding employees accountable to the system, what most entrepreneurs do and why they're not successful is that they micromanage. And if you've ever done this, then let me know in the comments. Hey, I've done it, right? So this is one of those do as I say, not as I do. I mean, now I've learned to do way better, especially with our virtual assistant company, of course, All Star VAs. And by the way, let me just make a quick pause and tell you, if you want our help with this, and here's how I can help you. I have a company called All Star VAs. I'm happy to help do this for you. Just book a call, click the link down below, and we'll take care of all this stuff for you. We'll give you all the standard operating procedures, our success guide, which includes the entire system of how to hire someone to get your time back, increase profit, and all that good stuff. But anyway, what's the difference between delegation? Let me move over here. I don't know if the light's good, but what's the difference between delegation and micromanaging? Well, micromanaging kind of looks like this. Hey, I want you to do this thing and I'm going to watch you every step of the way, and when you give it to me, I'm going to make 1,000 comments and this kind of thing. And what that ends up doing is at the end of the day, you essentially are either doing more work or you're doing the same work. Well, that's not the goal, right? The goal is when you hire someone, you want to do less work. You want them to do it. And so the great way to delegate as opposed to micromanage is, first of all, you got your SOP, your standard operating procedure. Let's see if the light's better here. Yeah, I kind of like that better. Number 2 is you follow this method. You know, number 1, you show the person exactly what you want them to do, document it with videos and things like that. Number 2, you're going to watch them. You're going to watch what they do and you're going to give them comments in that first time period. Then they're going to do it and you are going to watch and oversee. And then number 3, they're just going to do it. And then you're going to have accountability sessions that are regular, right? So you can't just let this person go. I mean, think about like if you own an airline or something and you hired a pilot and just said, all right, go for it, like go fly. Well, that's not going to work. You have to have a flight plan, right? You got to have a manual. Then you got to have accountability those first couple flights. So what you want to do is you want to oversee in the very beginning. Then you want to see how they do it, and then you want to let them do it, and then weekly or daily or both, huddles, accountability meetings, review KPIs, and all of that kind of good stuff to make sure that it's working. Now, another thing that's super important, by the way, is making sure that you've matched the person to the role. And the way that we do that, for example, at All Star VAs is through DISC assessment. DISC assessment is a personality assessment to make sure that the person actually fits the role. And what I see happen so many times is that people hire someone and they're not a good fit for the role. Now, maybe they interviewed great. Maybe you really liked them in the interview, which, by the way, doesn't matter as much as you think. But they're not a good fit for the role. If they're not a good fit for the role, they can do it for a while, but ultimately what's going to happen is that it's not going to work because they're just not a good fit or they don't have the track record. So you want to make sure the personality assessment matches the position that you want. An executive assistant, for example, is a very different personality style than an inside salesperson, than a video editor, than a social media manager, or than a transaction coordinator if you're in real estate. So those are all very, very different. You want to make sure you have the right fit for the role. And then the other thing I think that's super important when you're interviewing is track record. So I actually think track record is much more important to me than, education, than, their personal background, than, their resume and all this kind of stuff. Because track record actually shows you, have they had success doing what you want them to do. So let's just say, for example, you're hiring an inside salesperson and you look at their track record, they have no history of sales. Well, that's going to be, they're going to learn on your dime if you're okay with that, right? Because maybe they just say, hey, I want to be a salesperson. What you really want to see is you want to see a proven track record of success, a proven track record of hitting quota or exceeding quota or whatever that looks like, right? I also look for things in the interview like history in other things, success in other things. I love hiring athletes. I love former athletes. I love hiring former military, former people that have done things that are structured, that are systematized, where I know that they've already been in a system. They already, know what they're doing. And so that way, when you start delegating to them, the likelihood of success is actually much higher than it would be if you didn't have that. So the key thing with delegation versus micromanaging is you got to keep the goal of this thing in mind. You want to make sure that when you hire someone and you delegate to them, you're actually getting the results you want, which is increased production, higher profit in your business, and also more time back. You want to earn more money while you are working less. And by the way, that is my entire mission with this YouTube channel. So if you are not subscribed yet, which I know a majority of you watching are not, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button so YouTube shows this to more people who are interested in this content. We can spread the word and get more people hiring, delegating, and becoming really the entrepreneur that you want to be. You want to make your business predictable, profitable, and fun. Now, I've gone over some generalities here about hiring virtual assistants and hiring in general. Again, hit that link below to book a call if you want to chat with us. We'll show you how we do it for you. Or we'll just do an assessment and give you all the stuff and you can do it yourself. No problem. Either way is totally fine with me. But if you want the actual step-by-step guide on how to hire a virtual assistant, then click this video right here and check that out.